And here I have the latest installment of Ezekiel Kralen's story about the two little dogs, Lucky and Flacco. This one is titled Living in an Anthill. Ezekiel Kralen wrote, Email correspondence, July 8th, 2023. Subject, I had the dogs over last night. Continued. You stay, Lucky, I said, while removing Flacco's leash from the post and tying her brother's back on. He seemed okay with that, snuggled as he was within the plush folds of a comforter, just his snout poking through and those golden brown eyes watching me. He didn't even bother to sit up. By 9 p.m., our building is basically like a small ghost town, so I didn't even have to carry Flacco upstairs since no one was around. When we reached the second floor, she tried to veer off to the left instead of towards the right side of the elevator. She's been away so long, she's forgotten where my room is located, and that saddened me. I quickly guided her to my abode, and I'm proud to say she didn't bark even once as we entered the building and reached my door. As soon as I let her inside, she hopped on the bed and reached out to me in gratitude by standing on her hind legs and placing her paws upon my stomach. As I bent down to hug her, she tilted backward in my arms so I could plop her on the cot. Then the customary routine is to do it again and again and again. She just loves that interplay. But I only did it twice, since Lucky was still downstairs. So I kissed Flacco, told her I'll be right back, locked the door, and hurried back outside. Lucky was still snug as a bug in a rug, not the least bit upset. I had taken off with his sister, I presume because he trusts me that much, that I'd be back for him very soon. And I was. Okay, here we go, Lucky, I exclaimed as I untied his leash, whereby he leapt from his nest, ready and eager to step inside. Though I noticed both dogs did not bark with excitement over finally visiting my sanctuary after so many months had elapsed, but happy about it with a calm demeanor. That I did not expect, though glad for it, as opposed to wild yelping, no matter how cheerful. We do not need to arouse the wrath of the Morlocks therein. Not a single bark out of him, but boy did he tug on that leash to get upstairs. Once we reached my room and I extracted the key, I heard someone open a door from around the hallway. Lucky's ears perked up and he peered in that direction, about to bark at a perceived intruder, but I was fast. Got him inside before this could occur. After all, I do have one of Kevin's minions living right next door, his bedroom door beside my own single entry. Not that he ever uses it. None of the previous residents did either, but it makes it easier for him to hear any sound right outside that portal. As my ex-friend Chuck from Philly once said, living in San Francisco is like living in an anthill, and I was surprised that Lucky didn't immediately jump onto the cushy bedding like his sister, but went for my aluminum chair in a flash. Granted, it was covered in full by a child's orange sleeping bag, so was somewhat comfy, but nothing like the cushioned swivel chair I once had that both dogs loved so much. He sat there proudly, chest puffed out and staring ahead like he was king of the hill. No one dare challenge that. Oh, so you want the chair, Lucky? I addressed him with hugs and kisses. I then told both pooches I'd be right back. Since I still had to reclaim the comforter, box, and water bowl, I returned swiftly to discover Lucky was still sitting in my chair in the same position, like a noble statue. I gave him some more hugs, upon which his sister drew my attention with a tap of her paw. I turned to her then, held her in my arms, and gently lowered her onto the cot, then lifted her up again 1, 2, 3 times. Boom, I'd say with each gentle plop. But get this, Watson. Right after the third plop, Deke called up to my window. Yo! I barely had 3 minutes with the furry quadrupeds before I had to take them back outside. Why, oh why, is Deke so often a pest one way or another? I went to the window and called back. The dogs are with me. I'll bring 'em right down. They are? How'd you do that? He replied with some confusion or perhaps amusement. I'll tell you when I get downstairs, I answered, then chose Flacco to be first to leave. They knew their master was waiting for them and eager to be reunited. Thus I didn't feel bad at all by having them depart so soon. Wait here, Lucky. I'll come back for you in a moment, I instructed as I snapped Flacco's leash back on. He remained on the chair while looking at me as if to say, fine, I'm cool with that. Deke was out there on the corner with a ginormous load of recyclable bottles and cans in a shopping cart, which may explain why he took so long to return. Seated on the sidewalk across from him was Richard, who I guess finally tracked him down. Sidebar. This rush of ecstasy to see he was all right, while at the same time justifiably enraged over that morning's egregious offense, put me in a perplexed state of mind. However, I sensed it best to play a friend than a jury at this juncture, so swept my anger aside, though a part of me resented that decision. Soon as I opened the gate, I released Flanco's leash from my grip, and she dashed off to her master in happy abandon. He smiled and crouched down to embrace her as I came up to him. I had no idea what happened to you. I thought you might have been arrested. I absolutely couldn't stay outside all night just to watch over them, so decided to take them upstairs. With the landlord's approval? He queried. Of course not, I replied. Just mine. To be continued.